today? Can you guys come close so they can see?
By the way.
Unplanned. She's wearing... We don't know if that's gonna happen. So we're gonna film the teacher tag made by Darin Nakakihara, and then I'm gonna go home. Say bye.
I just want you to go back in time when you were wanting to transfer, and I said multiple times, why do you have to ruin a good thing? And now,
Well,
in hindsight, we could have still...
you just have to explore options. You can't stay stagnant. Look at you, you're at a new place, loving life, people love you.
We could have been happy in our stagnant little bubble down there.
That is true. Live and learn.
Live and learn.
Live and learn.
See you soon on the teacher
Bye.
tag.
1, 2, 3. Hey guys! It's me, LaTanya, with Mrs. Chu, aka Liza, and we are going to do, I don't remember what it was exactly called, but it's an end of the year teaching tag made by Darin Nakakihara. And in the last few vlogs I've had, a couple of you have asked where Mrs. Chu is Mrs. Chu coming back? Are we gonna see Mrs. Chu? So I thought, let's have Mrs. Chu answer these questions with us. So she's here, away from me. So we're gonna answer these questions together.
Okay.
Okay, question number 1. What grade do you teach and how long have you taught that grade? You start.
4th grade, almost a year now.
Only grade you've taught before is 5th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I am currently teaching 3rd grade. I taught it this year, but then I also taught it when I was very early in my career for I think 2 years or so. But like her, the bulk of my teaching has been in 5th grade. Question 2, what adjective best describes you as a teacher and why? I know.
What?
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna see if it's the word that you say.
Is yours negative?
No.
Okay. Sarcastic? Is that what you were gonna say?
No.
Rude?
No, mine is not.
What would I say? I mean, I would describe myself as sarcastic because, well, as like a teacher, like a motivator, or just how I am with my students?
No, like I think like one word to describe you as a teacher and that explains how your classroom is conducted. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
I just can't even believe that it's taking you this long to come up with this one word. It's just very like obvious to me.
Rigid?
No.
What were you gonna say? Just what were you gonna say? Let's see
Well,
what I think.
you said sarcastic.
Yeah, well, just in terms of my personality, but how I run my classroom, I guess, you know, organized or orderly. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say fast.
Oh yeah.
Like everything is very fast
It is
paced.
fast. That's true.
And she's not sarcastic like she's mean. Like I think she means like a dry sense of humor with their kids.
It's my only way to get through the day.
My word, I had it a couple of days ago when I write these questions at first and then I forgot
so many
it.
words that you
I think my word to describe myself as a teacher would be thorough. Like maybe like overly thorough or overly analytical. Like where she's quick to do something because she's heard it, she understands it, she feels good about it, she's gonna do it. I will hear something, I will understand it, but then I need to go home and think about it and plan it out and write it down and map it out and question it a little bit more.
Which is why it's always kind of a puzzler if like you give directions to your students and they still are like what
do we do?
I
don't know what else to say.
All the possible questions you could ask and address it.
Yeah.
Fast and slow. Is that what we thought? Fast and thorough?
Fast, thorough.
Which we were very complimentary.
Yeah, we were like, you were like the yin to my yang.
Thank you for bringing in an Asian connotation.
That was so appropriate. I didn't mean to do that. That just worked itself out that way.
That's great.
Question 3. If your life as a teacher was made into a movie, what movie star would play you?
Okay, so let me tell you, I watched a little bit of Darin's
Nakakihara.
Yes. Now, when I first looked at these questions, I literally chose Melissa McCarthy. But then he was saying, but then I realized that he said that because he's of Asian descent, he chose somebody who's Asian. So then I said, okay, fine, I have to pick someone who's Asian, but what are my options here? Margaret Cho?
I don't know.
Like Sandra Oh? Because there's not very many.
Is there like a Korean soap opera star that we don't know about?
For me to go into that, you guys don't have time. I mean,
okay, well then tell us why Melissa McCarthy?
Because I think I just saw that as like who I want to play. Because she's so funny.
I don't want to cry in this video, but
and so if someone like her portrayed me, I'd feel so honered. Who are you gonna pick, Michelle Obama?
No, but that would
She's
be
not an
amazing.
actress,
I just thought of someone that people think that I look like, or I've been told.
Oh.
So I was gonna say Gabrielle Union.
Oh yeah.
You know, the girl from Bring It On.
You
and
do look like her.
Things
So
like
then I guess
that.
I'll just go with Margaret Cho then. Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
Margaret.
So I would pick
Okay.
Gabrielle Union only because people say, oh, you remind me of her.
You do.
Okay, question number 4. Think of a lesson from this year that you're especially proud of. What made it so special?
You can go ahead first.
Okay. I don't think mine was a lesson. I think the fact that I very scantily...
That sounds right.
Let me back that up. On a very surface level, because I just said I like to be thorough, and this was very surface level, taught the idea of growth mindset to my kids, and we read some books and we just talked about it a lot. That's my favorite thing, because over the past few weeks, especially getting ready for state testing, a lot of them have referenced it, or they can recognize a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset in someone, and you can tell they're not just saying it just because they think that's what I want them to say, but because they really are recognizing it. So I feel good about that, because I think that's a lesson that they can take with themselves, you know, beyond 3rd grade. So that's what I would say. What would you say?
I think the project that we're wrapping up right now, we're doing like these biography reports, which I was just telling you about today, on the Who Was series, and there's so many of them. And what I like about what they had to do is I assigned them each 2 nights to read one of the Who Was books. They know what Who Was is, right?
Yeah, like Who Was Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
Who Was...
And so I projected all of the ones that I had, and they kind of on a whim just chose something either they heard about, or just some of them didn't hear, you know, haven't heard about any of them, so they just chose random ones. So they had to read it, and then I kept them accountable by making them take an AR test on it, and I counted that as a grade so that parents knew and kids knew to take this seriously. And then based on that, they're doing this presentation, and what I like about it is they're learning so much about people that they typically wouldn't really know about. Like I have one student, you know, spitting out facts about Neil Armstrong every day, talking about Jane Goodall and the chimps.
Did you know, I have to look up, there's some app where you can get a picture of the person and the kids speak, and it's the kid's mouth moving on that. I have to look it up, but I learned about it from the Q conference.
About
Oh, it's over?
A month ago. Well, I mean, they're presenting tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, no.
That would have been a way more fun thing to do
next year.
And on Netflix, they're coming up and saying that there's a Who Was Netflix series, like for kids, where it's like,
oh, like where it's those books?
Yes. And so, you know, they're giving me information about people that they normally wouldn't know about. So I'm hoping that after they all present, that they have now 32 other biographies in their brain that they can reference for futures.
That's cool.
So I like that one.
Number 5, tell us about a student that you think you'll likely remember forever. Now, I mean, I looked at these questions, and there are students that I remember forever for not so pleasant reasons.
Yeah.
And then there are some that I would remember for positive reasons. So I think the nice thing to do would be to choose a student that you're gonna remember forever for positive reasons. Like, what is it about them?
I mean, I think there's some kids that I'll remember forever because we became so invested with even their families that I love that now, you know, we see each other on Facebook, or they invite for birthday parties, or, you know, whatever. But I feel like maybe a student this year, because he was flagged as someone's like worst ever student. And I've had a couple of those where maybe they just have such a bad record or just a bad experience with other teachers, but then I ended up really connecting with him and really loving him, and ended up being, you know, one of my favorites. Not to say I didn't have moments where I was like, oh my God, but you know, without naming names, I think I'll remember him forever because I hope to be, which, you know what, did you get any of those
letters?
Yes.
I got one from a student last year, but I thought they only do that in 8th grade.
Well, so I got one this year from a student that you and I both know, and you know what he said, because usually they're very generic, like, you're funny, whatever. But he said, I will always remember that you pulled me out and talked to me about my parents getting a divorce and how I shouldn't be upset at everybody. God. And I always have tried not to be mad at people. And I said, that is so sweet.
All seriousness, those are the kind of notes where you're like, oh.
Yeah, because those moments happen and you're like, okay, whatever, but for them to,
because you don't really think much of it. Like, you're like, okay, let me take you outside, let's talk about this.
You're mad at everyone right now, and I get that, but then, what about you? Who are you gonna remember?
There's a few. Like, there's one student that I've mentioned before from my very first year of teaching and
Oh, yeah.
I think she'll just always have a place in my heart. I can say her name because I've said it before. Her name is Daisy, and I worked in a totally different district, totally different demographics, and she just had a very challenging home life. Not because her parents weren't married or anything, but they were English language learners, and you know, they were just trying to make a good life for themselves here. And in spite of all the trouble she had, she just was the most committed and dedicated student, and she just really wanted to do well. She wanted to please her teacher. She took care of her parents. She just was like a 40-year-old trapped in a 10-year-old's body. And I do keep in touch with her still. I haven't talked to her in quite a few months, but we do stay in touch. But then there's this one kid that I have that her and I both know, but I'm not going to name his name. He's a high school senior now. I just wonder. And he just was like the nicest kid you ever wanted to meet. Like just like the purest, nicest boy. Like, and to this day, because we've seen him over the years, he'll come back and visit, and even when he's in high school, you can tell that he's still the same person. Like, just super patient with everybody, patient with kids in the class that had issues, just nice, even to the point where one day the principal, when I had him in my class, she said, you know what, so-and-so, he's just such a nice kid. And I'll just remember him for that. So
cute.
Question number 6. At this point in the year, how do you feel about the teaching profession?
Wow.
A dangerous question to ask a teacher in May.
Right. I feel like this teaching profession has gotten heavier, if that makes sense. I think in the beginning when I first started teaching, it was just teach the kids, you know, you teach them lessons and they're your kids, and you know, you whatever, like just the typical definition of like being a teacher. But I feel like now it just encompasses being, you have to be a teacher, you have to be a mother, a counselor, making sure you're connecting with everybody and giving 100% to each one of your students. That I feel sometimes very weighted by that. I think always constantly feeling like what I'm doing is never enough, and always feeling like you need to do 85 more things when you've already, you know, done so much. I don't feel like this is a very light, and you know, I don't think any teacher out there would say that. Yeah, I think at this point I feel like the profession is misunderstood, and there's two things. Like, I think people need to really recognize it as a profession. Like, I think teachers just think, or people just think teachers just go to work, and but I really do feel like it's a profession. That's why when I refer to my coworkers, I try and say the word colleagues, or when I refer to what I do, I refer to it as a profession, because I feel like over the years people have lost respect for what we really are doing during the course of a day. And I think it's misunderstood, especially with the whole shift to Common Core and what we're really charged with teaching kids and how we have to teach them and the demands that are placed on us. I think there's some parents out there that still kind of view us as like, oh, they just go to school and it's going to be fun all day and you're just doing fun things all the time, and not recognizing that there's a lot of like work that we're putting in and the stakes are kind of high. So and then especially with this whole Red for Ed thing going on, I definitely think that teachers are not being paid enough. I think that we're fortunate in this area, in this district, we do get compensated well, but if we were paid for all... Thanks to the negotiations team member.
Got you guys. Here. But if we were really paid by the hour for the work that we are doing, we would be like living very well. Like I would have a lot more things in my life. So I just think it's misunderstood, and I think people need to respect what we do a little bit more, in my opinion. Question number 7, how do you keep your job fun and engaging no matter how long you've been teaching?
I think you can answer this first.
I think that engaging, I try and always learn what's new, like not become stagnant and say, oh, let me pull out my file from May because I've been doing this for 5 years. So anytime something new comes along that I feel like I'm interested in or I want to do, I try and learn as much as I can so that I'm staying current. I think a huge lesson that I learned this year was one way to keep your job fun and engaging is to work with people that you just really have a good time with.
Seriously. Why'd you do that?
I think I just didn't realize, I think we were just spoiled. So I just thought, oh, every workplace is like this. But I mean, our days last year, as you guys saw, and the years prior, we just had a good time all the time.
did.
You're always laughing and joking, and now there's a little less laughter and a little less joking around because not everybody appreciates my sense of humor or personality. So what would you say?
I would say the one way that I don't get Monday blues, is it called Sunday blues or Monday blues?
Well, I think for teachers it's called Sunday blues.
Okay, so that I don't get Sunday blues is I really feel like you need to get to know your kids and enjoy them. Like, not come and be like, I'm the teacher, you're the students, you're gonna do what I say, but be able to have fun with them and be able to joke around with them, and that's what gets me through the day. So when I think I say sarcastic, it's because I love the fact that I can play around with them and make jokes, and they can make fun of me and I can make fun of them, and it just keeps the banter going so that our day-to-day isn't just, okay, open your books too, you know, because that would just be so hard for everybody. So I really tried to find some way to connect with the class, and sometimes some classes more than others, you know, you feel a connection there, but just if not, I don't think I can make it. I always feel like, oh my god, work is tomorrow.
Question number 8. What has surprised you the most since the school year started?
What has surprised me the most since school year started? I guess just how much I do love it here. I thought it would be, I don't know, a hope.
You love it even though I'm not here?
I would love it more. I would love it more if she were here. I thought it would be harder having my girls at my school and transitioning to a new staff and a new everything, but they're at this school. If any of you colleagues are watching here, it's just a very warm and loving environment, and I thought it would just be so much harder, but it just has,
because we came from a school that was relatively small in relation to this school. So I remember her saying she was going to miss the small hometown feel that we had at our previous school, coming to the school that was much larger. And
I thought to myself, like, oh my god, kids won't say hi, like they're not even know me, but it's just it's been such a warm welcome, and that has really surprised me, honestly.
I think for me is just how, even though geographically you're not that far from one school to the next, that each school has its own personality, and just having to be prepared that even though you had a certain culture and climate at a previous school and you got along with everybody and you were able to connect with everybody pretty quickly, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen right away at a new location. And that's not to say that I'm unhappy where I'm at. It's just an adjustment and a change that I wasn't really prepared for. And I learned how fortunate I was to work with a staff of people that were all my friends, not just her, but like everybody we worked with. We really were very close and friends, and you know, I could rely on them for anything and vice versa. And lastly, there's a huge difference between 3rd graders on the first day of school and 5th graders on the first day of school.
For sure.
I learned that within the first 5 minutes of the first day of school.
Yes.
Question number 9, social media. Who are your favorite teacher tubers, teacher grammars, teacher tweeters?
Smarty Style.
Yay.
What a great plug. I honestly don't watch a lot of teacher tubers. Is that what you guys are called? Teacher tubers?
That's what some have said.
But, which is so appropriate because he did create this tag. The one I do watch the most is Darin Nakakihara. I think because I really like your energy if you're watching this.
He's very California.
Very, and just seems very easy breezy, and I think the fact that he teaches 4th grade, like I've gotten a lot of like, oh, that's a great way to do it.
A lot of good technology stuff.
Very techy.
His wife works for Nordstrom.
Shut your mouth. Is that why you're trying to be friends?
She does. So Darin,
hook us up. Wow, what a dynamic duo right there. Nordstrom.
Yeah. What was the question? Oh, favorite.
I don't know that you can say this. People might get hurt.
I know. I mean, I have a few favorites because I feel like I know them a little bit more. Definitely Megan from Too Cool for Middle School, because I've actually met her and spent some time with her, and she's just very down to earth, very into causes and topics that I'm interested in. Obviously, Darin Nakakihara. We're not just saying that because we want to go to Nordstrom.
We don't say things that we don't.
But I really do like just like a good, chill California vibe. Just very calm, just
I always remember
soothing.
You saying that you heard his voice and you were like,
yes, like it's such, like it's just a vibe. I heard it and I knew who it was. I've never met Real Rap with Reynolds, but I like him because I can just tell that his heart is like into what he's doing.
Local?
No, he's in Philadelphia. I love the fact that he's in the inner city working with a group of kids and boys that really need someone like him in their life. And then Miss May. Miss May.
Who's Miss May?
I'm telling you, Miss May is a breath of fresh air. Happy, bright, peppy, sunny, happy all the time. I need to be more like Miss May.
Santa?
Miss May. I bought her a present for Secret Santa.
I did.
She just smiles. She just has a smiley face.
Yeah. Just like
we
you.
don't have smiley faces.
I was gonna sing a whole different tune there, but you're right.
So those are my favorite.
Oh.
I think I spend more time on YouTube than Instagram, but those are my favorite for sure. Number 10, who would your dream teacher collaboration be with? And I don't think they necessarily have to be a teacher. I don't think they necessarily have to be a teacher.
Man, what celebrity am I gonna pick? Did you can answer this while I
know. Mine
Michelle
would,
Obama?
Yes. Like
I knew it. Michelle Obama.
I mean, I love Barack. He was the president of the United States. He was the leader of the free world, but I just love me some Michelle Obama. And I don't even think I have to explain why, because you guys know who doesn't like Michelle Obama.
Nobody. Everybody
Who
loves
doesn't
her.
like Michelle Obama? So I don't know what she would do. I don't know what we would talk about together. Just to be in her sheer presence would be enough for me. So Michelle Obama, if for some reason you're watching this,
hit her up.
yeah.
I'm gonna pick Kelly Ripa. Why are you laughing so hard?
Okay.
Because she's just so... I honestly watch her on TV and I feel like we could be friends. Like, she just seems very down to earth, you know? Or Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, or her.
I like her too. Who? Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. I'm sure you guys.
Number 11. I don't know about this one. What is the last thing you took a picture of? Show us. I mean, mine is gonna seem pretty bad.
I almost staged a picture for this.
Mine is literally a picture of myself because I had to screenshot.
You're so vain.
I had to screenshot the thumbnail of.
Oh, you're a YouTuber.
Yeah, so I could put on Instagram.
My phone's way over there. Am I supposed to get it?
Yeah, hurry up.
Okay.
Hurry up. But I mean, really the last few pictures on my camera are of me because they were from the photo shoot for CTA. Let's see, the last one that is not of me, I'll show that. The last one that was not of me was of my Orangetheory workout on Saturday. That this one dragged me to at 6:15 in the morning for a 90-minute class.
You're welcome.
37 splat points, 835
something
calories.
delicious?
I don't even remember. I just felt like it was the longest day of my life.
This is my last one.
Is it Lily?
It's Lily. It was on Mother's Day and they had brought me breakfast in bed. And so I was like, oh, let me take a picture. That's
so
it.
cute. Okay,
Good thing it was
let me find my questions. Question number 12. Sing the last song you listened to.
What?
I don't.
22. Woo-hoo. Taylor Swift, 22. That was my backpack soundtrack this morning. What was yours?
For backpack soundtrack? So it's a Taylor Swift song, but it's like Counting by Twos. Mr. DeMaio, if anybody's out there, he's a teacher on YouTube who makes these multiplication songs.
Oh.
And it was like the tune of Look What You Made Me Do, but counting by twos.
Cute. Now,
I'd sing it, but I don't know.
On the way here?
I wouldn't. What did I listen to in the car on the way here?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. I can't answer the question because I really wasn't paying attention.
Mine was 22. That was the last song I heard.
So I'm sorry, and you guys don't want to hear me sing anyway. Number 13, complete this sentence. If I weren't a teacher, I'd be, you go first.
I guess if I weren't a teacher, like a real job? Or like a
what
job
would
I
you
wanted?
do instead of
I'd
teaching?
probably be a stay-at-home mom. If my...
I don't think you would. I don't think you have the patience for
I feel like
that.
that's an answer I'm supposed to say.
I don't think you
I don't have the patience for that, but I mean, I wouldn't do sales or anything. I'm a terrible salesperson. What would I do? You know what I would do? If I weren't a teacher, I'd be the secretary of the school because I
she loves secretarial
things.
administrative duties.
Oh, I
She
love
loves it.
filling envelopes and greeting people. Like, my favorite part of my week, honestly, is traffic duty in the mornings. When people come and I can open a door for them and tell them to have a good day, that touches my heart.
Liza is the queen of small talk
Oh,
and
I love it.
pleasantries.
Hey there, Mr. J. How's that bike ride today? All day. I
think it got yours. We don't know if you got Liza's last answer, but let's keep our fingers crossed. The question is, if I weren't a teacher, I'd be, I think I'd be a lawyer because that's what I thought I was going to do when I was younger. But my dream job, I think I'd be really good at this because it like combined, there's 3 of them. I'm gonna give 3. It would have been,
Here we go.
it would have been a lawyer.
Yeah.
Or I would have loved to work at like a magazine, like a fashion magazine, and write articles. But really, the perfect job for me is to anchor the Today Show.
I believe that.
Because it's like world events, politics, but then there's like celebrity stuff.
Yes.
There's like fashion stuff. I would love it.
Why didn't you go for that?
I don't know.
You should have.
I don't know. I could have been.
Or like Stitch Fix.
I could have been Hoda Kotb.
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 Hoda Kotb.
Hoda Kotb.
That could have been you.
Stitch Fix? I don't know.
Putting outfits together.
Last question.
It's already the end?
Yeah.
That was fast.
Who is your teaching hero? Tell them one thing that you really appreciate about them. Teaching hero, one thing you really appreciate about them.
Does this mean like a previous teacher I had?
It could be.
Or somebody
Or
I
someone
learned
that you
something
like
from.
as a teacher.
Okay, let me tell you what's random. We worked with a teacher before.
You and I?
Yeah. Should I
Okay.
give initials or is that?
Let's just see if I can figure it out.
Okay. And I wasn't close to her. You were closer to her than I was, but I admired from a distance because this teacher literally knew everything about every student. Like literally personal things she would remember. She really, like people give an analogy like you're their coach and you got to know their weaknesses and you got to know their strengths and you got to really know them. This teacher knew that about everybody. And I would sit there and listen to her.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that about her? And she literally, you could never tell when she was frustrated, agitated, upset, having a bad day. She just was.
She was.
And I think, you know, I never had a chance to tell her that. I worked with her for a year, but the way that she would, like you would say, oh yeah, you know, how's Jerry doing? Okay, let me tell you about Jerry. On Tuesdays and Thursdays he goes to his dad's, and then on Saturdays he does baseball in the mornings from 8 to 7. And then, like she knows
I think you
everything
could say
about
her first name because you're saying positive things.
Yeah, Melody, which
Yeah.
is an amazing name too. But yeah, I just remember that about her and wishing that, you know, oftentimes I think the laziness or the tiredness or, oh my God, there's so many of them-ness prevents us from really investing. But I mean, every recess and lunch, kids were in there, they're writing journals, they were talking, it was
like she never had a moment to herself during the school day.
Yeah, but I
don't know. I feel like I always talk about Mrs. Judson. And I mean, but that's the truth. Like, I don't really have any teachers that stood out for me in elementary school. I mean, I had nice enough teachers in elementary school and middle school, but they weren't like super memorable or had like lasting impacts in ways that I think about it as an adult. So I just said it. I talked about her again on my Insta story last week for teacher appreciation. And the gist of it is she was my high school teacher all 4 years. I met her my freshman year in a journalism elective and then eventually transitioned into being on the yearbook staff. So that ended up, I was in her class for 4 years. And I always say that she saw me in a way that I did not see myself. Like, she always would say to me that you are a gifted writer, you're very good at expressing yourself, like you have this presence about you, you are going to be doing these great things. And when I was in high school, I wasn't the most confident person. Like, I didn't really think of myself necessarily as being smart or capable. I just was like, whatever. So I didn't really see it that way, and she would always say that to me. And she wrote me this very great card when I graduated that was very personal.
Did
and
you save it?
Yeah, I still have it. And just kind of like talking about me in the future. And I think that was the first time that someone referred to me as a woman. And I remember reading that thinking like, okay, I'm growing up. And what I said in the Insta story last week was what she did shows, because I said she was at the time a middle-aged white woman and I am a teenage black girl, and a lot of people, I think, especially in the state of education now, feel like, well, you know, we don't have the same backgrounds or we don't come from the same place, so I can't connect with them because we have these 2 totally different lives. And what I like about it is that she did, and we did have 2 totally different lives. Like, she was an adult, I was a teenager. She was white, I was not. She had we didn't grow up the same way is what I'm saying, but she took the time to get to know me and really talk to me, and I felt that. Like, even though I didn't see myself the way she saw me, I felt that she was really talking to me as a person, as LaTanya. And as an adult, I feel like some of the confidence that I do have is derived from her telling me all those things. So I think it just teaches me that, because I always try and tell people, kids are kids, but you still need to treat and respect them as adults. So I think one of the things when Liza and I are talking to kids, we really are talking to them. And even when we're frustrated with them, we are giving them the space to say what they need to say, and we're listening to them because we want them to feel like, I hear you. Like, I may not agree with the things that you're saying and what you're telling me, but I am gonna listen to you and give you that space. And so I feel like she did that for me, and I'm an adult and I still think about her and remember that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like Real Rap with the Reynolds, because I think he does that for his high school students, because high school, I feel like, is the hardest time to connect with that age group. So I'm pretty sure Mrs. Justin's not watching YouTube, but if she is,
did you tell her all this?
I've told her this in person. I've told her husband, because her husband works in the district. Well, I mean,
he works
he works in the district. And I ran into her and I've told her that, and I really hope that she knows I'm not just saying that to say it, but that I truly mean it. Like, she really is like a pivotal person in my life. So
she was in her class.
She was really good. I have a friend, Maddie, gonna have her, and I told Andrea, like, she was important to me. So but those are the questions.
Thank you.
We're all done. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed catching up with Liza. I want to thank Darin Nakakihara for organizing this. Liza and I are coming down there at some point to meet you, really.
Hello.
But should your wife happen to be there,
you said he's local.
He's local.
When does
he's just a hop on the 91 away, I think.
Really?
I think he's very local.
How come you guys haven't like collaborated?
We talked about it. I don't know, but we're gonna try. I mean, we met up at Riley's farm.
Yes.
But that was.
Oh, is this you came in a chartered bus?
Yes, yeah, he was in he's one of the rich people. They were in that chartered bus. So
you got stuck on a bus with a boulder.
Just a plain old yellow school bus. So although, Darin, we're not as highfalutin as you, I hope that you find time to meet with us. But really, in all seriousness, thank you for organizing this. It was fun. I hope you guys like it. Liza's phone is ringing. I'm gonna say bye. See you guys later.